Welcome back to the Stranger Than Fiction podcast. Stay tuned until the end of the episode to hear bonus content and bloopers.
Welcome to the Stranger Than Fiction podcast. I'm Chase.
And I'm Adam. We are back.
We're back.
As some of you may know, at the beginning of the year, we decided to stop production. And even though we weren't making new episodes, the show kept growing. And I think we had the itch to start it up again.
I did. I got lonely. Not talking to you every week and not talking about weird shit.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, it's nice to be back.
Agree. And I mean, plus it's almost Halloween. And those were some of, I know, my favorite episodes last year when we did vampires, mummies, creepy kids.
Yeah. Creepy Kids was the creepiest of them. So
super creepy.
I have all the lights on for this episode.
So I think in honor of Halloween and our return from the dead, on this one, we are talking about ghosts. You know, like unfinished business, lingering around after death, haunting people. It seemed like an appropriate way to kind of relaunch the show. What do you think, Chase?
I think so. I think ghosts are a quintessential Halloween theme. So I think what better way, if we're coming back around Halloween, to have that as a theme, or at least we talked about vampires, which I would say maybe, what is your opinion, vampires or ghosts as a more quintessential Halloween theme?
Ghosts for sure. I think
ghosts for sure. Yeah, right.
I mean, the ghost is like the easiest costume to pull off. You just grab a sheet out of the closet or off your bed, and you throw it over your head. And
be careful with that, though. That could also be a different kind of costume. So let's.
Well, down in the South, you get 2 for 1. You get a 2 for 1 costume. You get the racist ghost.
Well, you don't keep it pointy. Make sure it's round, and you're good. But before we get going with ghosts, wanted to let everyone know about a few changes that we're planning coming back now. So one is that you will see less episodes from us. We're doing every week before. We're probably going to go to 2 a month. We think it's just a little more sustainable for how things are going. But hopefully you guys feel like it's still a good amount. And in addition, you'll hear some more regular contribution from producer Allison. Hi, Allison.
Hi.
There's the contribution. Perfect.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you. You can leave now.
Fuck you.
All right. So everyone knows what a ghost is, right?
I think everybody has an opinion as to what a ghost is. Ooh. Just like you and your fucking vampire definition.
Ooh, that's right. Let me hit you with the technical definition of a ghost. So, I mean, the concept of a ghost, I think, has been around for a long time. It goes by lots of different names. Specter, sometimes like a spirit, all kinds of different names. And it's based on the ancient idea that a person's spirit or essence exists separately from their body, and it may continue to exist after that person dies. And because of this idea, I think a bunch of different societies began to use funeral rituals as a way to ensure that the dead person's spirit would not return to haunt the living. So you die, you have this special kind of ceremony, and that way it prevents them from coming back and helps them move on, if you will.
Would you call that ceremony a funeral, Adam?
I said funeral rituals. Yeah. So yeah, that's exactly what I would fucking call it.
You have this special ceremony.
It's called a bar mitzvah. And a surprising number of people actually believe in ghosts. And if you go back, I guess I should also say, if you're listening to this episode and you haven't listened to all of our other episodes, you should probably stop, go back and listen to Creepy Kids.
Yeah, because you need to hear Adam's ghost story.
So we're not going to debate too much here. Maybe, I don't know. Are ghosts real? Because if you go listen to that one, you'll hear my ghost story, which I'm not going to retell on this episode. Mm-hmm. But I believe ghosts are real. And because I saw one, go listen to Creepy Kids if you want to hear my ghost story.
Well, listen, I don't want to have a plot twist or anything.
You've changed your opinion.
We're not going to debate. I don't have I have a strange opinion on ghosts, and maybe we can talk about it now, or we can talk about it later. But I don't know what to believe, honestly. So I mean, I don't know what segue that is, but I can back up both sides with evidence. So which is a strange thing on this podcast, because normally I am of the extreme of you, but I think I can argue for you and against you in this time.
Well, according to a survey done by Chapman University in 2017, 52% of Americans believe places can be haunted with spirits. So more than half, right? That's quite a bit.
Yeah, but again, I think we have to discount that Americans are essentially kind of dumb comparatively to the rest of the world.
Okay, fair. So, nearly all parts of the world and almost all cultures have some kind of belief in ghosts, spirits, a soul, or some kind of like essence. And so, like, an example is in India, they have a belief in something called a bhoot, Bhoot.
A boot.
I think it's pronounced like the Canadians would say boot.
Bahoot. Okay.
A boot.
A boot. Okay. Let's just keep doing that for the entire episode.
That's their
Boot.
That's what they believe in as ghosts. It's basically what we think of as a ghost. But and obviously, like in Mexico, they have a whole holiday, Day of the Dead, where it's believed the spirits of loved ones will return to visit. African culture is also really varied on beliefs about spirits, but basically all over the world. So you're right that Americans are generally pretty crazy, but pretty much everyone believes in some form of a ghost. Yeah,
but I think if you go a little bit more granular in that survey, whatever survey was taken, in that the African cultures would probably believe more in the spiritualism of ghosts, right? Comparatively to like Americans, where we're just like, boo, ghosts are scary. Like, oh shit, I saw a ghost. So I think like ghosts, or I guess depending on how you define ghosts, because I think in America we define ghosts as like Halloween, ooh, scary, like sheet blanket ghosts. Where in Africa, or even going further back to like the beginning of ghost culture, I guess, they believed in ghosts from a spiritualistic perspective. Like it's much more religious, it's much more spiritualistic comparatively to like us, who were just like, I fucking saw a ghost in the mirror.
Well, I think one example of a group of people in Africa that live in Sudan, they believe specifically in a very special kind of ghost. Either of you guys know what kind of ghost I'm talking about?
No.
This would be a great setup for a joke. So if this is a joke, that would be great. But if not, I have no idea.
It's
no.
Adam Chase.
Ghosts of giraffes.
Ooh.
Excuse me?
Giraffes.
Okay.
Long-necked animals.
Yeah, I know what they are, but like I'm having a hard time.
Why do they believe in?
They really like ghosts of giraffes, and they make special beverages from the liver and bone marrow of giraffes to help them see these ghosts.
Yummy.
What do they see when they see the giraffe ghost? Do they see a full apparition? Do they see just like the head and the neck?
I think it's a full. I didn't talk to any of these guys,
a full
but
apparition.
I think it was a full giraffe ghost.
I'm gonna need some additional research on this.
I have questions.
This is what we hit on.
Some people say that this like mix of liver and bone marrow is like equivalent to like LSD.
Like ayahuasca. Only that's not bone marrow and liver, but that's what ayahuasca does in like Peru and Central America, where they take ayahuasca for that sort of stuff. So maybe there's something to that, because ayahuasca also sort of solicits that brain function of like hallucinations and like, out of body experiences and all that stuff. So maybe they're treating giraffe liver and bone marrow as the same way as they do ayahuasca in Central America.
Very possible.
What makes the giraffe so special? Like, why the giraffe? Why not like an elephant or a zebra?
Why not the giraffe? That's
I
the real
just want to
question.
know why. That's not the animal I would choose.
Well, you don't live in Sudan.
Yeah, you don't get to choose, first of all.
I'm just trying to understand.
But I think that's also what you just said, Adam, is a testament to what we were talking about with the American ghost culture versus like the spiritualism of that's a legitimate reason to believe in ghosts and understand ghosts in the Sudan, comparatively to the boo sheet
The boot.
ghosts of the boot. Yeah, the boot. I was saying boo,
Oh.
like scary boo. But yeah, I think we just have different definitions of ghosts across the world.
And so again, if we're going outside the U.S., because you seem to be focused there, some of the first stories of ghosts actually date back to like the 1st century A.D.
Mesopotamia,
The Romans.
Mesopotamia, the Romans, all the Egyptians, all those guys.
One of my favorite dudes, Pliny the Younger.
So here's and I was reading about this as well, and I think
You're reading about Pliny?
I was reading about Pliny only because one, there's a brewery
Yeah, I saw
in
this. Yeah,
Santa
I saw
Rosa,
this.
California called Russian River,
Yep.
and Pliny the Elder, or Pliny as us beer drinkers call it, is one of the greatest IPAs you can ever drink.
Oh, really?
They have Pliny the Elder and Pliny the Younger, but I think it's Pliny. I've watched enough History
okay.
Channel where I think it's Pliny the Elder, Pliny the Younger.
I like Pliny better.
Okay, well, I'm just saying if we're talking about technical, if we're trying to be taken seriously, Adam.
So Pliny, as I will call him,
Okay, go
Pliny
ahead.
the Younger.
I'll allow it.
He recorded, and Pliny was like famous.
Yeah.
He basically just wrote a shit load of stuff down, and his stuff just happened to stick around.
Yep.
He wrote like hundreds of these like letters.
He was like Aristotle or like Plato or some shit like that. Like he was just a natural thinker and writer downer.
He could have been making shit up for all we know, but
Yeah.
maybe not about ghosts, where he wrote one of the first notable ghost stories in one of his letters. He reported that there was a specter of an old man with a long beard, rattling chains, that was haunting a house in Athens.
That's his whole story. That's what we're going off of that. Just like 3 lines of like, dear world, I saw a ghost today. Okay, bye.
Love, Pliny.
Yeah, that's it. Like that's the I saw that as well. Like that again. That is like the starting point of a lot of like this ghost culture, as I'm going to keep calling it throughout this episode. But like that, it's such a strange thing that like it literally took like 3 lines of like, hey bro, saw a ghost. Okay, bye. Love you. And then it spirals. Like you can read a ton of accounts of Romans again in Mesopotamia, but like all of those cultures held such credence in like the afterlife and somebody coming back to you and like monitoring you and looking at your life and telling you that you've done wrong or bad or all that stuff. They held that to such high regard in those cultures.
So Pliny was talking about rattling chains in his little love note that we talked about there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of like common themes that exist in some of these ghost stories if you check out some of them, and a lot of them are experiences like shivers, these kind of weird sounds, hair standing on end, odd lights, cold spots is a real big one, like a temperature differential, voices, smells,
Yeah.
pets acting weird, all kinds of shit is what basically people are reporting. And if you go listen to my ghost story, I didn't talk about really any of those things.
Yeah, but you didn't need to because you woke up, you saw it, you went back to sleep, and that was it.
Don't
That's-
spoil the episode.
Yeah, I don't, spoiler alert. Adam went to sleep, he woke up, he saw something, he went back to sleep, and then called it
Wow.
a day. Go listen to the story. It's an interesting story.
You make it sound so interesting. Some reports, include like seeing objects also like move on their own,
Orbs.
floating, doors closing, all kinds of that kind
Orbs.
of crazy shit. Orbs. I already said orbs of light, but
I know. I'm just reiterating. I have in my notes a smell without an obvious source,
that happens a
which
lot.
could be
here.
a ghost or could just be like a crop dust.
Oh my God, every single day. We have a ghost.
Speaking of crop dust, have you ever heard of the brown lady?
Yeah.
The brown lady is a ghost that is thought to be Lady Dorothy Townsend. She's the wife of a rich dude.
Pete Townsend?
No,
Oh.
rich dude named Charles Townsend. He was the second Viscount of Raynham. It was rumored that Dorothy, before she got married to Charles, she had been the mistress of Lord Wharton.
Farquhar.
No, not Farquhar. And Charles, he suspected Dorothy of this dirty infidelity. There's a lot of stuff around. Did he like torture her? She allegedly was buried in 1726, but some believe that Charles locked her away in a part of the house and like kept her prisoner there for her infidelity.
So I think that's a good segue into like what causes ghosts.
Hold on, we're not done talking about the brown lady.
Okay, go ahead.
Have you seen the picture?
Of the brown lady?
Yeah, we'll put it on the website. But look at this. It's a photograph of Lady Dorothy standing on a staircase, and it's a fucking ghost.
Here's where we're going to start to, I think, debate, because I don't believe any pictures of ghosts.
Why?
Because film itself is too careless in its way that it like transcribes itself. And I think that there's too many ways that you can also, if it doesn't fuck up itself, then I think there's too many ways that you can manipulate it, or there's too many different ways that you can translate a flaw in that. So looking at all of these pictures, like all of them are of the same place in the same staircase every single time.
Well, because there was only one. There's only one photo, and it came from Country Life magazine. People were there to shoot the house for a magazine spread.
But I understand that. But if this is a true ghost, don't you think that you can still visit this house? You can still, everything that everybody should know about ghosts, or that we are talking about ghosts, don't you think that you should be able to go throughout Raynham Hall and see this ghost wherever she may be, instead of just this one spot in this one photo that's the only evidence that we have that the brown lady exists?
Okay, so you don't like the brown lady. That's fine.
No, I
look up this next one. This one is creepier, in my opinion.
Okay, go ahead.
The tulip staircase ghost. Oh my god, this thing is terrifying.
Literally, I typed in tulip and staircase ghost was the first entrance.
Exactly, that's how popular this fucker is.
But Adam, this is such a strange phenomenon for me, because this is also one of those things that shouldn't make that much sense to you in your genius brain.
Aww.
And I should be opposite of you in this case, where I'm like, dude, did you see this photo of this light that looks like a fucking ghost? Did you see this face in this photo? That's me normally. I don't believe this. But
I know, but I saw a ghost.
I know you saw a ghost. And here's the thing, like the caveat to all of my argument here is that Aaron has also seen a ghost. And I think we talked about this I alluded to this in a previous episode. I'm not going to tell this story because it's not my story to tell, bro. But I believe her. She is completely freaked out about it. She's completely honest about it. So she has seen a ghost, and she can tell you it verbatim as to like what it was wearing, what it was doing, all of this stuff. So she's seen a ghost. So for me to negate this and then also have you as a data point is a strange thing for me. But I don't believe ghost stories that are based on random old photos. That's all there is to it.
So in the case of the tulip staircase ghost, which again, if you haven't seen it, go look at it. It's fucking terrifying. Experts, including some from Kodak, examined the original negative, and they concluded that it hadn't been tampered with. There was no problem with it. It was authentic. You don't trust Kodak?
An authentic photo doesn't necessarily mean that everything inside that photo is authentic. So let's say that I don't tamper with a photo that I take. Who's to say that this isn't just a random person standing in a staircase that happened to manipulate the exposure enough or move quickly enough in the photo? That wouldn't mean it was manipulated, but just happened to manipulate the exposure enough to be able to show that it would look like a ghost.
Well, in this particular instance...
No, hold on, Allison. Hold on. Wait, I appreciate... No, hold on. I because I saw Adam's eyes, and I want him to respond before you respond, because I think I just got the I got you moment that I've been hoping for 20 episodes.
No.
I want Adam's raw opinion right now.
So in the case of the tulip staircase ghost, it's not the only incident. There's a lot of other creepy shit that happened in this place. It's not the only thing. It's not like an apparition.
No, I regret cutting you off, Allison. Please go.
No, I was just going to say, in this instance, it was a reverend who shot, and I don't know why that makes me feel more inclined to believe it, But
Yeah.
he and his wife were on vacation and they were touring and they wanted to see the staircase because it was in some sort of architectural magazine prior to this. And the whole area was blocked off, so nobody could go on the staircase. So he had to shoot it from like the barricade. So it's not like somebody was climbing the stairs when he took the photo. There was nobody back there.
Yeah. So one, this is a weird. Where would the barricade be if you're looking at this photo?
But have you looked at the tulip staircase?
Where would the barricade be that this photo makes sense, where he's just not, he's taking such a small photo of the random part of the staircase that if you really appreciated this staircase, wouldn't you take a step back from the barricade and say, hey, I love this staircase. This is such a random portion.
It's not the only picture I'm sure that he took during this session.
It seems too convenient to me to take this. This is not a photo that you would take of a staircase if you were architecturally looking at this staircase and saying, ooh, I love this staircase, and I'm just going to take a small snippet of this staircase.
Well, he did say he was disappointed not to be able to stand under the staircase to take the photos that he wanted to take.
So my question would be, is this the first instance of this ghost, this photo?
The tulip staircase ghost?
Yeah.
I think it's the first photograph, but I don't think it was the first report of weird things happening.
I mean, there's a lot of other reported incidents around that particular staircase, but I don't know the timeline.
If this is the first instance of the reporting of, oh shit, we have a ghost here, it's a lot more viable to me than the tulip staircase ghost is something. Let's go check it out, and then this guy manipulates the photo enough. I don't fucking care if he's Jesus. Like, I don't care if he's a reverend. I don't care.
It's not a manipulated photo.
So define that, Adam. My definition of a manipulated photo would be after you take the photo, you manipulate it to make it look like something. Is that what you're talking about? Because I think that's what Kodak would do, where what I'm talking about is I think you can manipulate the exposure or the picture itself, especially in the 60s and before, and I'm not a fucking camera expert, so that's just me postulating that this is possible in 1966, but I would assume that if you move a certain way, have the light a certain way, take a certain corner shot with a shadow, that you can make this look a lot more like a ghost than a normal photo.
Yeah, but this picture is this ghost hanging over the banister.
It's hanging on to the railing.
The fucking thing. It's fucking creepy.
Can we just talk about why this house was built to begin with?
Okay.
Adam,
it was a maritime museum.
No. It started off as the Queen's house. It was commissioned by King James I because he and his wife Anne of Denmark got into an argument and he cursed at her in public. Any guesses as to why he was cursing at her?
Because she was cheating on him.
She shot his dog on accident.
Dick Cheney style.
So she got mad at him. He built her this house, but she died before the house could be completed. And then it was passed down from king to king, but nobody lived there for a long time because it was repurposed and used as a holding for prisoners of war. And later it was used as housing for orphans of sailors. It was a hospital, school, and finally the Maritime Museum.
Yeah, that all sounds like
it
Ghost
has
Central.
a
Ghost
sordid
Central.
past.
So tell me, tell me the manifestations of a ghost. Tell me what would cause this ghost to be in this picture.
It has unfinished business with the house. You just heard Allison say that this lady got her dog shot.
No,
it was the other way around.
King James I
You were
was
listening.
mad at Anne of Denmark. Thank you for listening
Fuck you.
to my story. Anne
He
accidentally,
accidentally
and I'm putting
shot
it
her
in
dog.
quotation marks
Yeah.
because I don't know if it was really an accident or if the dog was just like a pain in her ass.
So
and so
she's
she
pissed
shoots
off.
it.
She's a malevolent spirit, and she's trying to kill all men because
Oh
men
my
shoot
God.
dogs.
No, knock it off. But since that time, there have been reports of hearing children chanting. There have been unexplained footsteps. There's been images of figures disappearing into walls.
In that house?
In that house. So there's other reports other than just the photograph. But I think all that was after the fact.
And that's good that you say that, because here's the thing about ghosts. Once somebody says that there's a ghost somewhere, everything turns into this is a ghost. Or oh my
Sure.
God, this
I
is
do
a
agree.
ghost.
I agree with you
Or
there. Yeah,
so
I agree with you there.
once that this photo, whatever went viral meant in 1966, every person from there on out that visited this museum or this maritime place saw a ghost or a footstep or felt cold or got goosebumps or something along those lines. That is the manipulation of the psyche of humans, is what that is.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with that. I mean, there are many possible scientific explanations for ghost sightings, and I think one of them is what you're describing.
Mass
where-
hysteria.
Feeble-mindedness.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about the flaws of the human brain in lots of different episodes, but I mean, I agree with you for sure on that particular point. There are other possible explanations.
Like what?
Electromagnetic fields.
Mhm.
Some people believe that electromagnetic fields can potentially cause some of the phenomena people describe with ghost experiences.
Mhm.
Infrasound,
Infrasound.
like so sound at levels that
Yeah, it's that elephants can hear, but humans can't. Right?
yeah, it's a sound at a low level that humans can't hear. So those low frequency vibrations can cause some distinct physiological discomfort.
Can I give you the third one?
Sure.
How about mold?
Yeah, I had this one
Okay.
on my list too, and this one I'm not sure about. I don't see the connection really.
See, to me, this would be the most natural connection.
Mold?
Yeah, because again, I'm not a fucking scientist, and I've made the claim on 19 episodes that we've done. I'm not a fucking scientist, but in my opinion, mold is some sort of iteration of a mushroom, which means that there's some form of potential psychedelicness that could happen from
Airborne psychedelic spores?
1000%. And I'm saying it sort of like I'm discounting what the scientific basis on that is, but I think there is some sort of like when you inhale it or eat something, whether it be a mushroom or mold or whatever it may be, there is some sort of sensation there that's going to give you some sort of like oh shit, something's standing next to me, or oh, I'm otherworldly, or something like that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I give you credit with that. I mean, in my ghost story, I'm pretty sure it wasn't because I had a bunch of psychedelic mold spores.
Yeah, but
that
you
I
don't know what
inhaled.
mold was down there either. So,
No, it was upstairs. I wasn't in the basement yet
oh.
for this particular
Well, that's-
experience. Oh, that changes everything.
No, but I had my my whole picture of that ghost story was in your room in the basement.
It wasn't in like the moist
Oh, okay.
basement. It was
All right,
upstairs.
Well, I didn't even compensate for that. Others will claim for ghost sightings. You know, we already talked about the hysteria of one person said it, so I feel it too, right?
Yeah, right.
The other one is maybe carbon monoxide.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, I guess, a similar argument to the mold, right? That
Yeah,
And that one, I mean,
breathing it in. Yeah,
definitely back in the 1960s and stuff, they wouldn't have had carbon monoxide detectors.
exactly. And you have to assume that mold and everything else in these old houses where all of these historic ghost sightings have been found, that's a definite possibility.
Yeah, it is.
Right? Or old wiring or EMF. And full disclosure here, let's not forget, Adam, I don't know if you're even privy to this, but I had a ghost hunting society when I first moved to
Yeah,
Virginia.
you used to be
Oh,
really,
that's ringing some bells.
yeah, you used to be really into ghost hunting, right?
Oh shit, I forgot about this entirely.
Yeah, so I used to be into it, and now I would like to say that I'm more evolved now. I think the website is maybe still up, or I think I'm probably still paying for it after fucking 10 years.
We'll have to link your website on our website so you can go visit our website and check it out.
No, it's not.
Ghost hunting, though, I mean, while you're looking that up, it's a hobby that's traced back to the 1800s. And so people have been really fascinated with this idea of hunting for ghosts. And actually, in the mid or later 1800s, there's a pretty famous formation of something called the Ghost Club. You know about the Ghost Club?
I don't know about the Ghost Club, no.
I mean, it's still active today, but it had some pretty important members. One of them was Charles Dickens.
Okay.
Sir Arthur Conan Doyle was also a member of the Ghost Club.
Conan was?
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
Arthur Conan Doyle.
Oh.
Not Conan,
Oh, okay.
like the late night
Sorry.
host.
Okay, sorry.
But, I mean, they met, hung out, probably drank some ales and talked about ghosts.
Yeah, which one does. And then here's the thing. These groups meet, they drink a shitload, and then go to an old house and say, oh, shit, there's a ghost. I guarantee you that's what's happening with most of these
Tell
things.
us about one of your ghost hunting excursions.
Here's the tricky part of having a group that I never went on a ghost hunt.
You never went out?
I never went out. No.
What kind of ghost hunting club was it?
It wasn't. First of all, we were We had a cool acronym, and I was trying to, while you were talking, I was trying to figure it out, and I can't remember what it was. It was something. It was Fredericksburg something, because we lived in Fredericksburg at the time, and we had a whole website because I was a 20-something-year-old making a shitload of money and had enough money to put a stupid picture on a website and create it, and everybody else joined, and then we had a strange amount of people. Like, there was probably 6 of us. So we tried. There's a church in Dumfries, Virginia, close to Fredericksburg, that had historic ghost stories tied along with it.
But you never went there.
Listen, so me being the leader of the group, I emailed this church in Dumfries, and I was like, "Hey, we're paranormal investigators." We didn't do anything at this point. I was just a fucking idiot. So I'm saying, like, hey, we're paranormal investigators. Your church has a history of ghost stories. We'd love to come in and spend the night and do an investigation. As I'm telling you this, it sounds
And
ludicrous,
they said, "Fuck
but
you."
we would love to come and do an investigation and see what we find. A couple days goes by, and the church emails me back, and they're like, basically, I'm paraphrasing at this point, but they're like, "Fuck you. We don't recognize that ghosts exist. The part of the church. If we did recognize that ghosts exist, then we wouldn't be a church. We would have to, blah blah blah, all the religious stuff after that." So we never went to that place. But what the paranormal troupe did do was they did go to a house and do an investigation, and there is some pictures that I know I received back in, this is probably 2009, 2010 time frame.
But you,
I never
leader,
went.
did
No,
not go.
I think I was probably
You
too
were too
scared.
scared.
I think I was probably too scared. But
So, did you use what a lot of the modern ghost hunters used?
what I still have in my possession today, I have an EMF detector.
Okay, what's EMF? Tell us about the EMF reader.
Electromagnetic field. That's the one thing that you were just talking about, where ghosts will tend to show up when there is a high electromagnetic field at play. So you would be able to see a shift in the electromagnetic field. So this reader that I have would go boop, basically, just fucking go haywire during a ghost investigation if I actually fucking used it. And then I have a sound recorder that was also, I think, Ghost Hunting 101, where you would leave that in a room.
So looking for EVP?
Yeah, you would leave it in a room, and then after your investigation or during your investigation, you would listen to it back and see what you could find. Because supposedly ghosts talk at a different level or on a different frequency than we can hear.
Yep. So that's called EVP, or electronic voice phenomena. And so you leave that audio recording device in a room, record. Typically you can hear all kinds of phrases and different responses, like, "Help me.
Hey,
Get out. Mommy."
those are that's a menu of ghost sounds that you might hear.
Those are common ghost phrases. What else did you do as a ghost hunter?
I did. That was the extent, Adam. That was it. And long story short is that the one investigation that this group went on, they never found anything. So,
Well, not every place is haunted, Chase.
but I think we had a pretty robust screening process.
So do you want to do like a bonus episode where you and I go stay in one of these creepy places overnight?
Yes, I would love.
That would be scary.
Well, I think you believing, and let's do one better, and not even we'll do the podcast from the house.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, because then you'll pick up crazy shit that you won't
Yeah, we
hear
listen to it back.
until
EVP.
you're editing.
And then, "Mommy."
Yeah, we'll do like random things where we go from room to room, and then we can sit silent for a little bit and then listen to it back in real time, and that would be a live episode, I think.
Well, there are a couple places close by us that are actually considered pretty haunted. So do you know what like the most haunted place by you is?
Well, no, but there's a Civil War jail that's right by me.
How far is Williamsburg?
About 3 hours. It's pretty far.
Well, it's in Virginia.
Yeah, okay, great.
It's the most haunted place in Virginia,
Yeah, that's about.
according to the History Channel.
Yeah, but that's.
This place has everything. Indian burial grounds.
Are you trying to do
prisons.
a Trump impression?
No,
It did kind of look like that with your posture.
no. I was actually, what's his name? Saturday Night Live.
Alec Baldwin.
No, Stefan.
Oh,
Stefan.
no, you weren't doing a Stefan.
You ever-
This is a Stefan impression.
This place has everything. He's like, this place has everything. Indian
Nobody
burial
can see
grounds,
you. Move on.
prisons, mental hospitals, war, everything.
Now that you say what you're doing, it's way funnier to watch it.
Yeah. This place has everything.
Do I need to record it?
That's what he says all the time.
You can't. We're not going to put this in the episode, but it's so fucking funny to watch you do that.
And so the most haunted place by us ish.
Uh-huh.
Do you know what?
You want to go there?
No,
You do want to go there.
I don't have any idea what it is.
Biltmore.
Oh no, yeah, the Vanderbilt Mansion.
Yeah.
How is it the most haunted place?
It's the most haunted place in North Carolina.
But see, that seems like it's a loaded thing to me because it seems so easy for the Vanderbilt Mansion to be haunted.
It's supposedly the ghost of the original owner, William Henry
Vanderbilt. Okay, great.
haunts the place.
Okay.
There's also been sightings of a headless orange cat.
No.
That'd be fucking terrifying. Fucking cat comes up to you and it has had no head.
No. I don't believe any of this. But here's the thing. I guess we need to talk about like why ghosts exist because I don't think we've talked about that.
Ghosts exist because someone dies and they have unfinished business. They can't move on, and so they're stuck.
Okay.
That's why they exist.
So my question would be, why the fuck does an orange cat exist in Biltmore? What business does he have that he's just waiting to figure the fuck out?
He hasn't shit in enough places yet.
No, see, but I know you're joking in that, but like
No, that's what my cat, when he dies, that's what he's going to do. He's going to be a ghost cat, and because he hasn't shit enough places in the house. Allison, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong.
Not wrong.
Okay. I got a serious question for you.
What's your serious question?
This is actually, if you were going to convince me that I was high on carbon monoxide or mold when I saw my ghost,
Okay.
I think this is probably the argument. Do you know what ghosts and particle accelerators have in common? Do you know what CERN is?
CERN is the particle accelerator in Switzerland.
The large hadron collider.
Yeah.
So there's a guy that like works there. He has basically said ghosts cannot be real because otherwise the large collider and CERN would have found. Okay.
Yeah.
And so like he's arguing, and I think I'm probably going to do the argument disservice, but it's actually, I think, really good argument that if ghosts existed, then they would need to be made purely of energy.
Sure.
Since by definition, they can't be made of physical matter. And so the only way that if they were made of energy, they would quickly dissipate because the second law of thermodynamics proposes that energy is always lost to heat. Okay. Are you with me so far?
Got you.
Okay.
I understand thermodynamics somehow.
So the only way that they would be able to avoid that like dissipation would be to have this constant incoming source of their own spooky energy.
Okay. Is that the technical term, spooky energy?
Yeah. But
Okay.
but there's nothing to account for that in like the standard model of physics or anything that we've ever seen in this particle accelerator. And so like if they were possibly able to exist, it would have to have this kind of spooky energy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. So, and Einstein made a similar. It's not a similar claim, I don't think, but Einstein made the claim of like you can't add or subtract energy, basically, right? I mean, I think I'm paraphrasing.
I'm 100% sure that you're paraphrasing.
You want me to get the quote? Hold on, I'll get the fucking quote.
2,000 years later.
If it cannot be destroyed, it then must be transformed into another form of energy.
Spooky energy.
A person dies, the energy in his or her body goes where all organisms' energy goes after death, into the environment.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It dissipates
Unless. Dun, dun, dun.
unless there's spooky energy.
What? Okay, so define spooky energy.
It's beyond our understanding. Otherwise, we would.
Like dark matter. It's dark matter.
I mean, so I guess there's another argument. I guess the particle accelerator, CERN, this whole argument about thermodynamics, it really does resonate with me.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of makes me question what I saw. But there is another like theory out there for ghosts that I think would resonate really strongly with you.
Okay.
And that has to do with the multiverse.
Yeah. See, this is the one that fucks me up, Adam.
So It doesn't, or it does resonate with you? I'm confused.
No, it does, because I don't believe in ghosts.
But you believe in the multiverse.
I believe in the multiverse.
So you don't believe that the multiverse is contributing to ghosts because you don't believe in ghosts, correct?
Why?
So I guess the multiverse theory of ghosts is like, right, that there's all these parallel universes,
Mm-hmm.
and that potentially ghosts are like bleed through or like overlap of these various universes, and like you're getting like a glimpse, right? Like that's kind of what the theory is.
So I can believe that. However, that would go against the arguments that I made when you were talking about your shitty version of vampires. It would be the same. It would be the same argument for me as to I don't believe that's a ghost.
So you believe in that technical definition of a ghost, that it has to do with a bleed through of a multiverse?
No, because
That's not a ghost, though.
yeah, if you look at the technical definition of a ghost, that's not a technical definition of a ghost. A technical definition of a ghost is one that leaves the body or some shit. I don't even fucking care what the technical definition is. I can't be bothered with details.
I guess it's not, obviously, if that was true, it's not a ghost, right? But it's
not a ghost.
explaining what people are perceiving as ghosts.
If you wanted to pitch to me that the ghost sightings that we saw were leak overs from another universe, I would believe that.
Of course you would. I told you that one would resonate. How come you didn't bring that one up from the beginning?
Because I don't think it's the same. If you're talking about 52% of Americans believe ghosts in ghosts or have seen a ghost or whatever the fakakta stat was that you presented at the beginning, I don't think that's the version of ghost that everybody sees or wants to see. Look, here's the thing. I believe in simulation theory, as we've talked about.
Episode 1, go check it out if you haven't already.
We haven't talked about the multiverse yet in detail, but I believe that there are multiple universes out there. I believe that if you think about gravity the same way that you would think about ghosts in a multiverse environment, now we're gonna get pretty deep. So hang on. Let's say that gravity is also, which is a theory of gravity, is that it's leaking from multiple universes, and that we only get a glimpse of what gravity is, and that's why gravity. We don't get the full extent of gravity, right? It's not holding us down completely. It's slowly leaking in from another universe, another multiverse.
I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Gravity is caused by the multiverse?
There's a theory out there that says we're not even talking about ghosts anymore.
Yeah, let's stay on topic ghosts. Let's save this for the multiverse episode.
But there's a loop back here. If you're thinking about a multiverse, then you have to think about that gravity is part of the multiverse and it's leaking in, right? So you would have to assume there are also other entities or things that can leak in from a multiverse or another universe to another universe. And if you're telling me that that's what ghosts are, I would be more prone to believe you. But there's no proof to that either.
So, I mean, this is kind of how I guess I would sum up my thoughts if I was going to wrap up my my feelings. I mean, the logical part of me says that it makes no sense that ghosts would be real, right? I mean, it's like you said, right? It just doesn't make sense for me to believe in this, right? But I've seen one.
It's a weird thing, right? Yeah, it's a mind fuck. And you can't attribute it to anything outside of just seeing a ghost. Like you can't attribute it to like, oh, we grew up with a tremendous amount of mold in my house, or we grew up, like any of that weird stuff. Like there was weird carbon monoxide that night, and everybody felt it. Like it's a weird situation where for me, I still don't believe in ghosts, but I know several people at this point that I trust and I adore and I love that have seen ghosts, and it's a strange phenomenon for me. I can't make sense of it.
And I mean, we talked about it earlier, but another thing that really gets me though is how prevalent the concept is around the world, nearly all cultures. I mean, I feel like there's just got to be something to it, but maybe we just don't have all the answers yet.
Yeah,
I think it's either they're real or
they're fake.
They're real or they're fake. They're real, or we're all just high on mold or carbon monoxide. Thanks a lot for listening. Stranger Than Fiction was created by Chase Ferris, Allison Davila, and me, Adam Davila. If you like this episode, please consider subscribing, leaving a review, and telling your friends. If you'd like to help support our show, please check out our Patreon at patreon.com/STFTalk. For more information about the show, additional content, and to learn a little bit more about us, check out our website at stftalk.com. You can also check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We love hearing from you. If you have a topic in mind or would like to be a guest on our show, send us a message. Our email address is strange@stftalk.com. Here's a sneak peek of exclusive bloopers and B-roll you'll only get as a Patreon supporter.
I have so much phlegm in my
Ellie
throat.
hasn't been sleeping. I slept like maybe 3 hours last night. So
You want a Sour Patch Kid?
It's my mucus. How is Sour Patch going to help my mucus?
It makes your mouth nice and moist.
My mouth is moist.
Ooh,
Actually, it's getting
ew.
moist just thinking about those. You know how like when you think about something sour and you like
Yeah.
salivate.
Can you hear me chewing my Sour Patch Kid?
Yes, I can hear everything that you do because your face is right on the mic, Adam.
He has like the mic cover plus the pop filter because he.
I know. Well, I didn't know this mic came with a mic cover. I bought an extra. I have an extra windshield right here in case I need to like put it on top as an added one.
Oh, God.
Oh God, are you okay, Adam? Are you ready?
Oh, fuck.
Are you okay?
Oh my God!
Honestly, should we take your blood pressure right now?
He's given the presidential speech.
Do you want me to get my blood pressure cuff and just see
No,
where
dude,
you're
it's probably
at?
through the roof right now.
I'm curious.
Can you hear me exhaling?
Yes. I can hear you exhaling.
Oh my God. Okay, just go. Just fucking go, man.
It's gonna be a bad episode,
Oh, it's gonna be terrible.
or an awesome episode. Ready?
I got some good shit for this in my research, so you better bring
I'm
it.
gonna
Fuck.
bumble through it.
Okay.
All right. Are you ready, Adam?
I mean,
Rubber baby bug. I had ribs for lunch. That's why I'm doing it.
I didn't have lunch because I had
Just
a
kidding.
meeting. I had a meeting over lunch.
Anchorman. It was Anchorman. I was making a joke. All right, ready? Are you good?
Hold on.
Do you need to go get a refill? No, you're good. Are you drunk now?
Almost.
Okay.
How do
Good?
we start?
I got you. I go. Welcome to Stranger Than Fiction podcast. I'm Chase, and then you're Adam, and then you start talking.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
You good, Adam? Adam looks like he's shitting his pants. You act like we're live or something.
He was less nervous for the live episode. Why? Should we have a little therapy session and talk about why you're so nervous now?
There's too many people listening now.
Because there's 600 individuals.
That is kind of
listening.
weird that how many people are listening, but I don't think that nobody knows our faces.
Chase,
so-
every single night this week, he's been like, "Are you nervous? Are you
I
nervous?"
was-
I'm like, "Why
I
would I be
almost-
nervous?
I
I'm not
almost
hosting
texted
it."
last night saying, "Hey, we should push it to next week."
No, dude. Let's
I'm
do it.
ready.
Rip the Band-Aid off. We're good.
Do
It
it.
doesn't get any easier. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
You ready, Adam? Because I'm going to go right into it, and then you're going to have to perform. You tell me when.
Oh God.
Do you need some Tums?
No, my heart
Don't-
is just like racing.
That
Oh, yeah,
that
so
pop
drinking
filter
the-
is going to be real nasty once you throw up in it.
All right, take 2. There's too many reports for me not to think that there's something legit there. It's the same thing how I felt about Bigfoot. There's just too much out there for me not to think that it's a possibility.
I think that's a weak-minded answer, is what I think that is.
I don't.
People that have
I don't
seen
understand
ghosts.
what you're saying. I reject
Yeah,
this
because
argument.
you didn't let me fucking fin. You're rejecting the argument before it's even made. All I'm saying is that be smarter than the people that have seen ghosts. That's what I'm
So
saying.
Adam and
Like,
and your wife Erin.
no, but that's the trickiness of it all. Is like, but you're making an overarching statement of like, people have seen ghosts. So
Well, I mean,
believe
ultimately,
in
it's easy to
ghosts.
say that because there's no consequence for whether I believe or not. It really doesn't matter. But if I
We're
had
trying to run a podcast of sound hosting here, so don't. There is consequence. There is people believe
I'm saying
in us, Allison.
there's no consequence for my belief in it or not.
I'm just kidding. Also edit that out because I don't want to sound like a douche.
I
Really, people, we have to wrap this up.
have a question. If you saw a ghost, do you think that would change your mind, or do you think that you would immediately consider all of the other possibilities that we discussed?
No, that's a dumb question. Of course I would change my mind if I saw a
Okay.
ghost. It's like, again, I use the comparison of a weird fucking squirrel. Like, if you guys both told me, like, hey man, we got weird squirrels down in North Carolina, they have 6 legs, I'd be like, no, fuck, I've never seen a 6-legged squirrel, I don't believe you. And then if I came down to your house and saw a 6-legged squirrel, I'd be like, oh shit, 6-legged squirrels exist. It's the same thing.
So seeing is
I
believing for you.
But I also can't. I don't understand it. I don't understand it from a scientific perspective. But I trust the data. I trust that I've know 2 credible people that have seen ghosts. If I see a ghost, then I have to assume, like, it's not just my weird brain. Like, it's something that is actually legitimate, and that becomes a lot more of a higher fidelity data point to me.
Has Elle had any imaginary friends yet?
Stop it. She's in a point now where she's talking, like, she's not sleeping through the night, so like something is waking her up, and I'm completely freaked
Get
out. Like,
out
she's
your
gonna
ghost
just-
hunting shit, man.
Do you know the origin of the Ouija board? Do you want to continue this episode? Because I had all this in my notes that we didn't even
Go
talk.
for
We
it.
talked about 0 things in my notes, except we had the same list of weird things of what might
What's
be
the origins
contributing
of the
factors to
Do we have
ghosts.
an ending?
We'll find one.
I think there's an ending in there.
That's fine. We can stop. It's not a big deal.
You want
That's
to talk
fine.
about Ouija boards?
No, that's okay. I understand. There's an ending somewhere, and there is a sign for shut the fuck up,
Dude,
Chase.
it's going an hour and a half.
The Ouija board was named the way that it was because the makers of the Ouija board asked the spirits as they were creating the Ouija board, what should this be named? And it showed them, Ouija. Is that how you spell
I
Ouija?
think so.
Or whatever. And then the same builders of the board, when they got that, said, what does Ouija mean? What does this mean? And the board spelled out good luck. And that was it.
Oh.
That was how
Would you
Ouija
use
board got
one?
started. No. Because
How did they
No.
decide that Ouija was pronounced Ouija? That's what I want to know.
dumb Americans, Adam.
Were they Americans?
This podcast is basically about just me going against the no, it could be Ouija. And we just concoct it in our American senses. This is a Ouija. This is a Ouija board.
Why don't you want to use the Ouija board?
No, because as much as I don't believe, I am okay with just sitting here and not believing, and just I'm not welcoming it in. It's the same thing. It's like, hey guys, I know you've been robbing every other house around me. My house has been pretty locked down, but I unlocked the door now, so maybe you just come in and steal my TV. No, I'm not fucking doing that. If
If that scared
ghosts-
of that, though, then that tells me that deep down in your soul, you think there's something to be afraid of. You believe deep
it
down
should
in your
tell
soul.
you deep down in your soul that I'm terrified of so much. I hate snakes. I don't want to be around snakes. Snakes exist. So I would rather just, if ghosts do exist, I'm living in a naive world where I can just exist in my life and call it a day. I'm fine with that. I'm fine. 26%, so 862 of those people, I'm sorry, false. 26 people. No, that's got to be percent. Sorry. 26% of those people were in touch with the dead. No, this is hold on.
Oh my god, I'm so happy we didn't get to your notes.
I miscalculated. The acronym was PROOF, PROOF, Paranormal Research Organization of Fredericksburg. Yeah, I can't find anything on it anymore. I used to have a weird photo up there.